You're exhausted from running after a life that keeps slipping away like sand through your fingers. Every goal you reach just shows you 3 more you haven't. Every relationship you secure only highlights what's still missing. Every success feels hollow because there's always another mountain to climb. Carl Jung spent decades studying this pattern, and what he discovered will change how you see everything. You think you're running towards something: happiness, love, success, meaning. But here's the dark truth. You're actually running from something, and that something is yourself. The moment you stop chasing external solutions to internal problems, everything changes. Not because the world suddenly bends to your will, but because you finally turn around to face what you've been running from. And in that moment of stillness, you discover something shocking. Everything you've been desperately seeking outside has been waiting inside all along. If you've ever felt like you're constantly chasing a life that stays just out of reach, this is for you. The psychology of the chase. Jung observed this pattern in thousands of patients. The harder they chased happiness, the more miserable they became. The more desperately they sought love, the lonelier they felt. The more frantically they pursued success, the emptier their achievements rang. This isn't a coincidence. It's psychological law. The psyche operates on compensation. What you chase externally is usually what you're avoiding internally. And until you stop running and face that internal void, you're condemned to run forever. As Jung put it, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. When you're chasing, you're literally dreaming, projecting your inner needs onto outer objects that can never fulfill them. The perfect partner who'll complete you, the achievement that'll prove your worth, the experience that'll finally make you feel alive. But these are mirages created by projection. The completion, worth, and aliveness you seek aren't out there. They're right here, waiting for you to stop running long enough to notice. How the chase begins. This pattern starts early, before you're even conscious of it. As children, we learn that love comes from meeting expectations. Safety comes from achieving goals. Worth comes from external validation. So we start running toward approval, toward success, toward whatever promises to fill the growing emptiness inside. But Jung discovered that this emptiness isn't a flaw to be fixed. It's sacred space meant to contain something that can only grow in stillness: your true self. Think about what you're chasing right now. Maybe it's the relationship that will finally make you whole, the career success that will prove you matter, the body that will make you acceptable, the spiritual awakening that will end your suffering. Notice how each goal carries the same promise. When I have this, then I'll be okay. But Jung observed that then never comes. There's always another condition, another achievement needed, another chase to run. The goalpost keeps moving because the game itself is rigged. The unconscious map. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Your chasing patterns aren't random. They're precise maps of your unconscious material. What you compulsively seek outside shows exactly what you're avoiding inside. The person desperately chasing romantic love is running from their own self-abandonment. The one obsessively pursuing wealth is fleeing from inner poverty. The individual constantly seeking approval is avoiding their own self-rejection. The chase is always away from shadow material that needs integration. Jung's own life proved this. For years, he chased professional success, Freud's approval, and academic recognition. But the harder he ran, the more meaningless it felt. Only when his outer world collapsed, when Freud rejected him, colleagues turned away, success became impossible, did he stop chasing and turn inward. In that stillness, he encountered the visions and insights that would become his life's true work. The chase had been keeping him from his destiny. The moment of stopping often comes through crisis. The relationship you thought would save you falls apart. The career you sacrificed everything for feels empty. The identity you've been maintaining becomes unbearable. These aren't failures. They're the psyche's way of forcing you to stop running. When external solutions no longer work, when the chase leads only to exhaustion, you're finally ready to turn around. What Jung discovered in that turning is revolutionary. The moment you stop chasing, synchronicities multiply. When you cease frantically seeking, what you need starts finding you, not because of magical thinking, but because you're finally still enough to notice what was always there. You're finally present enough to recognize opportunities. You're finally authentic enough to attract what truly matches your nature rather than your projections. As Jung said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." But becoming one requires stopping. You can't discover who you are while running after who you think you should be. Shadow work and integration. The shadow work here is essential. What you're chasing is usually the light side of what you're avoiding. Chasing love while avoiding loneliness. Pursuing success while running from feelings of inadequacy. Seeking enlightenment while fleeing ordinary humanness. Jung understood that you can't have the light without the shadow. The moment you stop chasing the light and turn to face the shadow, both integrate into something more complete. This doesn't mean becoming passive. Jung wasn't advocating giving up on life. He was pointing to a different kind of action. Action from being, rather than lacking. When you stop chasing from emptiness, you can start creating from fullness. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But you can't become who you are while chasing who you think you should be. Every moment spent running toward an external ideal is a moment not spent discovering your actual nature. The self-regulating psyche. The tragedy is that what you're chasing, love, meaning, purpose, naturally emerges when you stop chasing and start being. Jung observed that the psyche is self-regulating. Like the body, it knows how to heal itself when given the right conditions. But chasing prevents these conditions. It maintains stress, perpetuates splits, reinforces neurosis. The moment you stop chasing, the psyche's natural healing mechanisms activate. Dreams become clearer, intuitions grow stronger. The path forward reveals itself not through effort but through allowance. The concept of the self, the archetype of wholeness, is crucial here. The ego chases because it feels incomplete, but the self is already whole, already containing everything you seek outside. It's like frantically searching for your glasses while wearing them. What really changes? What changes when you stop chasing? Everything and nothing. Externally, life might look similar, but internally the entire orientation shifts. Instead of living from lack, you live from presence. Instead of moving from fear, you move from love. Instead of acting from should, you act from must. Relationships transform completely. Instead of pursuing others to fill your voids, you meet them as whole person to whole person. The love that emerges has a completely different quality. Not desperate, but generous. Not grasping, but flowing. Creativity flows when you stop chasing inspiration and let it find you. Your authentic voice emerges when you quit running after recognition. The fear of stopping. The fear of stopping is immense. Who are you if not someone chasing dreams? What's life without goals to pursue? These fears keep the chase going even when it's clearly not working. But Jung discovered that stopping the neurotic chase allows authentic purpose to emerge. When you're not running from yourself, you can finally hear what you're called toward. How to stop? The practical question becomes, how do you stop? Jung's answer wasn't through willpower. The same ego that creates the chase can't end it. Instead, he pointed toward consciousness. See clearly what you're chasing and why. Recognize the projection. Understand what you're avoiding. Feel the exhaustion of running. Let the futility become undeniable. When you truly see the mechanism, the chase loses its compulsive quality. Your task isn't to seek love, but to find the barriers within yourself you've built against it. Your task isn't to pursue happiness, but to discover what you're doing that prevents it. The treasure hard to attain. Jung called it the treasure hard to attain, not because it's distant, but because it's so close you overlook it. The love you sought in others lives in your own heart. The meaning you chased in achievements rests in simple being. The completion you pursued externally waits in accepting your incompleteness. Your life has been a long chase, exhausting and ultimately futile. But this futility isn't failure, it's preparation. You had to chase long enough to realize the impossibility of catching. You had to run far enough to recognize you're going in circles. Now you can stop, not from defeat, but from wisdom. Not from giving up, but from growing up. The invitation is simple. Stop chasing. Turn around. Face what you've been fleeing. In that turning, discover that everything you've been desperately seeking was never missing. It was just waiting for you to stop long enough to receive it. When you stop running from yourself, you start living as yourself. When you cease seeking completion outside, you begin experiencing wholeness inside. When you quit chasing dreams, you start living the dream that's been trying to live through you all along. The moment of stopping is available now. Stop running and let life catch up with you. You might discover it's been trying all along. Don't forget to subscribe to ThinkDeep Studiox. What's the one thing you've been chasing that never quite satisfies? Share in the comments below.